there's an increasing amount of interest from California and the States, really, towards this region in terms of property. I was very pleased to talk to Joyce Rey from Coldwell Banker. Almost 75% of prime real estate buyers in Dubai were foreign investors from abroad, and one company believes that the US is finally realizing the potential of UAE property, particularly Dubai. Coldwell Banker's Previews International sees a trend in the luxury residential real estate market to invest in a market with a healthy tourist industry. And I'm pleased to talk now to Joyce Rey, Executive Director, Coldwell Banker Previews International. Good morning to you, Joyce. Thank you.
Good morning. Lovely to be in your beautiful country.
Thank you. Well, look, before we look at Dubai specifically, talk us through that propensity to buy into tourist-based markets.
Well, I think the U.S. traveler loves to travel around the world, and Dubai has become a very popular destination for Americans. And naturally, when you come to a place like Dubai and you see the incredibly beautiful architecture, the tax-free benefits, you're tempted to buy.
You say that, but the top end hasn't seen a huge influx from the US. And in fact, I've been looking at your site in the States, and it doesn't list any properties at all for Dubai.
Well, because chiefly people come to my site to buy in California. So though our company is international, and we have 4 offices here in Dubai, I rely upon the local offices for information about your market.
You say, and I presume we're talking about Americans primarily here, after London, Dubai is emerging as a hotspot for foreign investments in the Europe, Middle East, Africa market. How many Dubai sales to US nationals have you seen?
I don't have those exact numbers. It's interesting. Seville's came out with a report yesterday that next to the United States, the United Arab Emirates is the number 2 place next to U.S., which is quite amazing in terms of foreign investment.
And I presume these are investors, not people who actually want to live here.
Well, they didn't distinguish. They just ranked. The 4 cities in the United States were San Francisco, Los Angeles, Miami, and New York. And then the 5th was Dubai.
Logically, I mean, in the States, Americans would buy into those top 4 cities, and the very top-end properties they would buy, presumably, to live in.
Well, for the most part, in the United States right now, we have about 8% foreign investment in a national market. National real estate market, 8% are foreign, but 92 are American.
But what's the end purpose? Are they buying them to live in or to rent on?
Foreign, a large part of our foreign purchases are based on our universities. Children are coming to school in our universities, and they're purchasing real estate as a result of that.
Particularly the Middle East? From
the Middle East and from China, we see a lot of that.
Can you break that down? Which countries in the Middle East?
Well, I personally have sold several properties I just leased to a group from Qatar this summer, a major estate. I sold a major estate back in 1990 to one of the highest-ranking members of the Saudi royal family. So I've seen a lot of people, both from the UAE and from Saudi Arabia.
So when people from this part of the world buy into the U.S., for their kids to live in while they're at university or whatever, they're buying ranches and huge properties, are they? Or do they ever buy sort of functional day-to-day properties?
You see a wide spectrum, depending on some of them, of course, plan ultimately to move to the States because it's a great place to retire, for instance. It's a great place for diversity of investment of your capital. I think the safety factor in U.S. real estate is tremendous.
Well, the local property consultant Astico said yesterday the prices at the luxury end of the market here have dropped by an average of 10% in the last year. And Global Property Guide says Dubai's housing market is slowing sharply now. JLL and CBRE say that the levelling off will continue until next year. Is that price correction, do you think, part of the appeal of Dubai real estate at the moment, buying cheaply in the dips?
I think it's definitely part of the appeal. I think investors think it's a good time to buy. I mean, the smart investors always buy on the downturn. It's tough to do it, though. It's easier when everyone else is buying.
Your local site, I mean, you talked about luxury there, but your local site carries much more down-to-earth properties. I mean, only one property on the Palm, for instance, in among rentals for under 100,000 dirhams, and the sale of more affordable homes. So is getting the right stock here, the properties at the top end, is getting stock of those an issue here?
Well, I think of course, luxury is my specialty and what I've focused on my entire career, but affordability is an extremely important factor in every market. We have a problem with that in the United States, and I understand you have it here as well.
A Wealth X report claims that the average listing price of luxury properties in Dubai stands at around $6 million, with 8% of the luxury properties here listed in the super prime range of over $10 million.
Oh, I'm not sure at all about that. I do know that the average price per square foot for an apartment here is in the range of $500 a square foot, as opposed to $874 a square foot for an average apartment in Los Angeles and $1,550 in New York City. So you can see the differential.
Talk about the sort of homes then you're selling in the US. I mean, the first one I came across on the Coldwell Banker website in the US was for about $53 million. I mean, it was a huge home. How typical is that price? Are people really paying that?
Well, it's a handful of people that pay that. I know the Los Angeles market well, and we usually have something in the range of 5 or 6 sales a year in that price range, $50 million and up.
So what actually constitutes luxury? What sort of price level do you get into luxury?
Well, I would say it would be at least $5 million and up. Under $5 million today in our market doesn't constitute any kind of an estate.
Luxury is an estate.
Mm-hmm. They're basically an estate of some kind, but of course it varies from neighborhood to neighborhood in different sections of Los Angeles. Some are pricier, obviously, than others.
Well, let's talk about 5 to 10 million then. How many houses fall into that category as you're involved in the luxury market?
Sales, I think last year, of properties in excess of $5 million in our local West Side market was in the range of about 230 houses. So it's not a huge market. It's just been constantly growing.
Thank you very much for talking to us, Joyce Rey, Executive Director, Coldwell Banker Previews International. We do appreciate your time. Thank you.
My pleasure.